Minister of Romy is urging residents to remove their cards to avoid them being taken away. Minister of Finance reports on the government's operational expenses, and COO at SXM Airport gives his account of the aftermath of Hurricane Irma 3 years ago. Those are the headlines for Friday, September the 25th, 2020. Good evening, viewers. This is SXM Daily News. I am Valerie Van Putten. And as usual, we have a full newscast for you this evening, so let's get started. In our first story, as the Princess Juliana International Airport is in the process of rebuilding the airport's terminal building 3 years after Superstorm Irma, Chief Operations Officer at the Princess Juliana International Airport, Mr. Michel Hyman, speaking to our news department, gave his account of the aftermath of Superstorm Irma and Maria. Mr. Hyman has been with the airport for some 27 years, and he was the interim CEO and was at the helm when Superstorm Irma and Hurricane Maria blew onto our shores on September the 6th, 2017.
This was on the 7th of September when I was able, to actually visit the airport. But nevertheless, during this storm, we had a number of employees who voluntarily stayed back. And that's customary for us, that during the hurricane season, we put a team together who would volunteer to remain in the terminal building and monitor the facility and give management an update as events unfold. In this case, there was nothing different as well. The team stayed back, and to a certain point, updates kept coming in. But shortly after, the communication was lost for a number of reasons. The destruction in itself proved what had happened to the network system throughout the island. And what we had was basically the last communication that I could recall receiving from the team at the time was basically saying, hey, the doors blew in. And from there, communication was gone. Now, like I said, on the 7th, while driving from home to the airport, I witnessed all of the devastation that was done to the buildings and other properties that you would have known, under normal circumstances that would have been in location. And while making our way to the airport, actually, I called on several of my colleagues to find out the status of them, but again couldn't get through. And I managed to get through to Mr. Connolly Connell at the time, and him being residing in Phillipsburg at the time. I asked him, if he's okay. The family's okay and everything, and he said yes. I said, well, I'm heading at the airport, I need some assistance to go down and take a look. And he said, come and pick him up, and which I did. And while we approached the airport, we saw, the devastation of the fence, for one. That's the first thing we noticed, was totally destroyed. Luckily, the only part of the perimeter fence that remained was that part where, tourists will normally hang on for the jet blast.
Beacon Hill.
Yes. Yeah. But everything else around that, in the Beacon Hill, Maho, Simpson Bay Road, Simpson Bay area, was totally down. So as we approached the building, we started to see a number of debris that is scattered all over the road and the adjacent premises, and we started to see a lot of this yellow substance, and not knowing what it was at the time. When we approached in front of the buildings, when we saw the masses of that substance gathered there, and come to realize it was the I forgot the name of it, but nevertheless, it's the protection or to keep the cooling from that was on top of the roof at a time that was all scattered all over the place. And while we make our way inside the premises, of course, you can see the doors, the four main doors were blown in. But then when we made our way on the premises, we had actually seen the neighbors from the not Maho, but also from the Beacon Hill and the Simpson Bay area was actually using the runway to get in and out of the neighborhoods because, going into the Beacon Hill and those other properties were all blocked. With debris, sand, and the different stuff. So they use the airport runway or the airport property to get from one side to the other. While entering the building is when we saw the total devastation. We saw where all of the systems, all of the check-in counters, all of the panelings, ceiling tiles that we had in the building were basically on the ground, scattered all over the different levels, different floors, filled with water. You had to be very careful how you were walking in the building as well, because it's a tiled floor, and with water sitting there for a day or two, it becomes very slippery.
And we will have more of Mr. Michel Hyman in Monday's edition of SXM Daily News. And for the entire interview, you can hear that on Sunday on PJD2, PJD3 Radio from 2 to 3 p.m. And as we continue now with more news, NVGEBE, our utility company, says that it will end its 6-month COVID-19 relief to its 20,000 plus customers as of September the 30th, 2020. The company has also indicated that the earliest disconnections for non-payment of bills will start in October. Communications Officer at GEBE is Paula Gordon, who tells us more.
In April 2020, in a response to the COVID-19 pandemic, NVGEBE, in a discussion with government, initiated a plan to provide relief to the company's 20,000 plus customers in the form of a fixed reduced fuel clause rate of 18 guilder cents per kilowatt hour. The relief was set for a period of 6 months and was geared to financially assist all customers and, by extension, the community. During the 6 months of the relief, the monthly calculated fuel clause rates varied between 23 guilder cents to 18 guilder cents to now the latest value of 19.8 cents for September. CEO Mr. Kenrick Chittick stated that fortunately the current trend of the fuel prices does not indicate a substantial increase in the nearest foreseeable future. Besides the reduced fuel clause, NVGB had also suspended its late payment fees during the 6 months and had offered payment plans to those customers who have been affected financially by the effects of the pandemic. CEO Mr. Kenneth Chittick informs that September 30th, 2020 will mark the end of the relief period and that NVGB will resume its regular operations. In doing so, the monthly fuel clause rate will be billed as per the tariff charged to NVGEBE by the fuel supplier as of the following billing cycle. As the company prepares to resume its regular operations, the company encourages customers to be mindful of their energy consumption and to maintain good payment standing to avoid disconnection. NVGEB will continue to assist those customers experiencing economic hardship as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. The earliest disconnection for non-payment will begin in October 2020. Customers are asked to call our customer care department at 546-1100 or 546-1160 or email us at thecustomercare@nvgebe.com.
And now in news out of Curaçao, in a joint action at sea, the naval vessel HRMS Groningen and a team of Metal Shark patrol boat intercepted a sailing boat with drugs. The operation on the suspected sailing boat was initiated in the early morning of September the 22nd, 2020. On the radar system of the Coast Guard and the HNLMS Groningen, a speeding go-fast was detected which behaved suspiciously and stopped alongside a sailing boat. After a possible contraband overload, the Go Fast headed south again. The SRMS Groningen, which sailed near the sailing boat, directed its two fast boats, the so-called Frisks, to the vessel, and the sailboat was then approached by the Frisks for a check on board. After consultation with the Caribbean Coast Guard, the sailboat was transferred to a metal shark of the Coast Guard, and after the transfer of the sailing vessel, the metal shark towed the vessel towards Curaçao. Along the way, the Coast Guard patrol boat received assistance from the cutter Jaguar, which towed the sailing vessel to the Coast Guard dock for further investigation in Willemstad. During an extensive check, approximately 80 kilos of cocaine was found in 3 bales. The only person on board of the sailing vessel was a man of British nationality and was arrested. Both of the drugs and the man have been handed over to the police. The Coast Guard and Groningen continue to patrol the coastlines of the islands intensively. In addition to HNLMS Groningen, Navy officers also patrol the land guarding the islands. The Coast Guard is calling on all citizens who observe suspicious activity and situations at sea and along the coastlines to call the emergency number of 913. With your cooperation, we can keep the sea and the coastlines of the islands safe even during the corona crisis. And still to come, President of the White House says that the minister must be very careful when he speaks of the abuse of phones. And we'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie Van Putten. As we continue now with more news, the official National Alliance United People's Party 2020-2024 governing program was uploaded to the website of the Government of St. Martin on September the 12th, 2020. However, a revised version will replace the original version in the coming days. The Council of Ministers hereby apologizes to the general public for this inconvenience, and they look forward to the necessary dialogue concerning the governing program once it is made available again to the public. You can watch it via www.stmartingov.org. And Minister of Finance, the Honorable Ardwell Irion, has announced free courses for the general public. According to the minister, the initiative is in collaboration with the St. Martin Development Foundation, the SMDF. He made the announcement at this week's Council of Ministers weekly press briefing on Wednesday last.
In this time of lockdowns and economic shifts, those with the resources to do so have been bettering themselves, upgrading or expanding their skills. It is important to recognize the shift in the work field and also to adapt to these changes. I think the most empowering thing that can be done for the people of St. Martin is to give them the tools and the skills to be able to take care of themselves long term. The Ministry of Finance has started an initiative in collaboration with SMDF to offer free courses to the public. The courses for this, what we've called the National Workforce Development Program, will be carried out through the e-learning site Coursera, with the motto, retrain, regain, and recover. These skills will be ranging from high school level to master level and grouped in packages. These courses will be on an invite basis and will be executed by government in collaboration with SMDF. All of the recipients on the unemployment, income, and payroll support list will be invited to take part in the program. We are also finalizing a similar initiative for the civil servants, allow them to take part in a similar program. Though the pandemic has been very taxing on everyone, I wanted those that are interested to be able to have the opportunity to make the best of their time. The lockdown and the switch to remote work has rapidly changed our environment and has deemed even more why it is important for not only the previous generation, but our generation to adapt to the changes in technology. COVID-19 has essentially forced us forward together, so we should prepare ourselves for the new reality as best as we can. We're hoping that through this program, we're effectively able to retrain, regain, and recover. If we must fall, then it's fall forward. More information will be available soon as we adjust the SSRP website for registration, and we'll be launching our marketing campaign in the next week. I'm proud to say, and I would like to congratulate the companies or the entities that have been approved, the first entities that have been approved for the enterprise support program through credits. I encourage all of you that have a business or in the process of getting a new business started to go to the NRP website for more information on how to apply for this funding. You can also visit credits or contact, for those of you that already have a loan, or business that have a loan by WIB, contact WIB for more information on this program.
And while at the press briefing, the Minister of Finance also expounded on the government's operational expenses. The minister says that we have been over budget in a number of areas, and he expounded more at the Council of Ministers press briefing, which was held last Wednesday.
Governor St. Martin we have been for the last couple of months looking at how we could lower our expenditures. I have said in the past, we're looking at the phone bills, the gas bonds. We've also had payments deferred for at least 3 months. And I'm proud to say, with the support of the Prime Minister, that we have finalized the process with the telephones. And I would like to also go to give an indication of what we used to pay previously and how much over budget we were in the last 5 years. For example, in 2015, we had budgeted 1.2 million guilders budgeted for phone costs, and we booked 5.5 million, so we were over by 4.3 million guilders. 2016, we were over by 4 million guilders. 2017, 4 million. 2018, 3.6. 2019, 3.5. So we already saw, you see the trend that was taking place within government in the last 5 years, which is why we thought it was very important to, again, look at this area in government, a quick win where we could lower our costs. We've done the same for the gas bond situation. We had our COM yesterday, a presentation on a new system that we will be applying through our government that would again reduce our costs when it comes to gas. In addition to that, government or the Ministry of Finance will be launching or expanding the marketing for the enterprise support program with the NRPB. We believe that, I personally believe that any other country in the world, we would have seen much more applicants applying for a program like this, a program where you could potentially get 65% grant on a loan of up to $150,000. I believe that in any other country, it would have been filled out in the first 2 to 3 weeks. This could be due to miscommunication or lack of communication or marketing. So we will be ramping up the initiative to market this program. We believe it's a great program, also a great program for businesses or persons with ideas that want to start a new company.
And speaking at their weekly press briefing on Thursday last, president of the Y2, Claire Elshot, in responding to the Minister of Finance's report of government operational expenses, says that the minister must be very careful when he speaks about the abuse of the phones. The president also touched on the gasoline bonds, and she queries if there are criteria for receiving these bonds.
The question of Minister of Finance, Mr. Irian, said the abuse of telephone and the use of gasoline bonds. I would like to answer the following before I even go into the part who is to blame, because I think the minister must be very, very careful when he's speaking about abuse of the telephone, because I have a number of my members that has to use their own devices and their personal telephones to do the work of the government. Right now with the pandemic and this new reality that we are living in, you have to do meetings on Zoom where a number of persons have to pay out of their pocket to get those platforms or download those platforms. Zoom might be free, but for 40 minutes. Then you have Go Meeting, you have Teams, you have different platforms and different softwares, especially in the teaching profession. Whereas the Minister of Finance has not given our teachers one red dime to compensate for the use of their personal devices and telephones. So this abuse, if he detects that there is abuse, he should know who is the abuser and how to deal with the abuser. Because when it comes to education, our teachers are so cooperative that they even didn't start to use the word abuse as yet. You understand that the government and their minister is abusing them because they did not provide them with the tools to do online teaching. But from day one moment to the next, they have gotten that. Now, the gasoline bonds. Are there a number of criterias for these gasoline bonds? When you come to it, if you are asking a teacher to drive from their home to the school and then from the school to a next school, because you have the schools divided again based on the situation. Some classes are here, others are there. In a day, a teacher has to drive up and down to be able to comply with her work. I believe it is more than ethical that you provide a gasoline bomb, but based on the criteria, because I don't believe that no teacher has ever told the government that you have to fill my tank every week and then I can go super you in this and then I can drive to my job. No, it is based on proportions that I know. So this word abuse and misuse and whatever semantics that the minister is using.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for September 25th, 2020. In addition to daytime heating, available moisture and instability associated with a surface trough will cause isolated showers and possible isolated thunderstorms across the local area. Seas have subsided. However, long-period swells continued to affect local waters this morning. Small craft operators and sea bathers should continue to exercise caution. So the outlook through Sunday midday, partly cloudy with isolated showers possible. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, Minister of Romy is urging residents to remove their cars to avoid them being taken away. We'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of Web Mobile Banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News. And as we continue now in more news, an island-wide cleanup of wrecked cars have started, and Minister of Romy, the Honorable Egbo Duran, is urging residents to remove their cars in order to avoid having them being taken away. The minister made the announcement at Wednesday's Council of Ministers weekly press briefing, where he also announced that the Department of Inspection has embarked on a digital electrical inspection application form, and he expounded further.
As you may have already read in the media, on Monday, September 21st, an island-wide cleanup of car wrecks has begun. These wrecks are an eyesore and negatively affects the country's environment and well-being, so they are being removed. It is going well so far. Since taking office, I embarked on a project along with the Department of Infrastructure Management to continue with the cleanup. This project is being executed in collaboration with the community police officers and designated contractors. Some abandoned wrecks have been already tagged, and more tagging is taking place throughout the community. I urge residents to remove their wrecked vehicles from the public areas to avoid it being taken away, as again, all wrecks are being tagged and subsequently removed. This project should take approximately 2 weeks to be completed. I would also like to announce that the Department of Inspections has embarked on a digital electrical inspection application form in efforts to progress towards the digital operating of the ministry. This initiative of a part existent transition of the ministry of its application services. The digital application was provided and prioritized following a recent agreement between the Ministry of Romy and NVGEBE, who was previously tasked with providing the electrical inspection cards to the electricians. Currently, this service is solely being executed by the Ministry of Romy. The project is being realized at a crucial time when minimal physical contact is favored due to the rapid spread of COVID-19 throughout our community. The team is working diligently to expedite the process in order to minimize any inconveniences. In the meantime, persons can collect the application form at the Department of Inspections at the government building. I commend the involvement of the staff of the Ministry of Romy and everyone involved in this project thus far for their commitment and their participation. Although this project may seem small, it is a great achievement for the ministry in transitioning into becoming a digitally operated service.
And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, our utility company, GEBE, is informing the general public of this weekend's scheduled maintenance. For Belvedere, Bow Estate Road, Anna's Hoop Estate Road, Buck Hole Estate Road, Rockland Estate Road, and surrounding areas will be interrupted on Saturday, September the 26th, which is tomorrow, from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Little Bay, Spanish Fort Road, Little Bay Road, Villa Kimon, and surrounding areas will be interrupted on Sunday, September the 27th, 2020, from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. In the Phillipsburg area, which is Super Plaza, Rouge and Noir Casino, Y&M Supermarket, Danny's Electronics, Fusion Restaurant, Caribbean Liquors and Tobacco, Plaza Building, Joliva Building, and surrounding areas will be interrupted on Saturday, which is tomorrow, September the 26th, and Sunday, September the 27th, 2020, from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. These outages will allow GEBE to carry out the necessary maintenance to their distribution system, and they apologize for the inconvenience that this may cause. And they thank you for your understanding as they improve their services to the community of St. Martin. And with that, viewers, brings us to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening and also this week. I am Valerie Van Putten, thanking you so much for joining me, and just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again on Monday. Do enjoy a safe weekend.